Israeli cities tonight erupting in protest after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu sacked his defense minister today, the country's political turmoil rapidly deepening.
Clashes between police, protesters in Tel Aviv after Netanyahu poses judicial halls. I believe if you have been away from the top news, we are going to take you through whatever has been happening in Israel, because Israel has been believed to be a promised land, promised country, but things have been happening because there have been rallies, protesters have been seen there actually, and not only in Israel alone, here in Kenya there have been protesters. I think it was yesterday where we saw protesters because of the high rate of economy. South Africa, we have seen the same. And people are asking what is going on across the globe, because this is something that is kind of a virus or a crisis that is happening. Now, taking you back to Israel.
The country's political turmoil rapidly deepening. Netanyahu removing Yoav Gallant, a member of his own Likud party, after Gallant called for a pause in the government's controversial plan to weaken Israel's judiciary, essentially stripping its power to have final say on Israel's laws.
Israeli protests demonstrated outside in Nest in Jerusalem. Nest is it's kind of street in Israel, right? It was on Monday, as Netanyahu is reportedly slated to announce a freeze on the judicial overhaul. One of the reporters from the Israel has communicated. His name is Amir Tibon. Yesterday at 2 p.m. He stated and he wanted to explain what is Netanyahu doing and what is happening in Israel. So from the report of his, it reads like this. Israel is in the midst of a major crisis and is experiencing one of the most dramatic weeks in its history. Its government, led by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, has attempted to bulldoze through Israel's Knesset or parliament several bills that will drastically change the balance of power between the different branches of government in Israel, significantly weakening the country Supreme Court and giving almost unlimited power to the governing coalition. Okay? He was saying hundreds of thousands of Israelis from across the political, social and economical spectrum have taken to the street for 12 straight weeks, demonstrating all over the country against the plan to neuter the judicial system and enfeeble core liberal democratic value. What do I mean? They have been saying it's kind of that of people are taking now things to their own powers. Yeah. Netanyahu is taking things to his own power, and the citizen of we can get one of the citizens to say whatever has been going on right there. So I'm going to put him and you hear.
We all have to fight for our rights because of the plans of Benjamin Netanyahu that want to turn this nation into a dictatorship.
Things are not okay. Israel people are actually running up and down to protest for their own country. They don't want to be taken. There's this one word that I'm trying to find. They don't want to be taken sabotage. Okay? They don't want to be taken sabotage. They want to live in a very free, transparent country where things are moving smoothly to every citizen of Israel. That's why you see the demonstration is going on and on. And it has been happening since Monday. And it's been said that it will happen for 12 days. 12 days. Now, what are the police doing in Israel? That is the question now. Because there have been 38 arrests across Tel Aviv in days of mass protest disruption. 38 arrests. Those are the civilians. who were protesting, carrying the flags all over the street, singing and badging to the to police. And funny thing that I did not see what the street were doing. They were not throwing stones. So I was wondering, Israeli, you guys do not have stones, because here in Kenya, there is no any protest people can go without two things in common. One is stones, another one is the tear gas. Without those two things, those are the major key things that our fellow Kenyans usually go hand in all circumstances, whether they be a riot or they call it maandamano. Yeah, they call it maandamano. So those particular two items, they go handy in handy. Now, police say that a total of 38 people were arrested in Tel Aviv during the day of major disruption and protests across the city, which included the use of stun grenades and water cannon to clear demonstration from major roads in the city. You might be asking, what are the stun grenades? Stun grenades are these items of grenades that are usually, they are not that effective to human being, because they usually just blow out lights and very heavy sounds. They can disrupt your ears at some point, and flashes the light flashes the eyes, so you cannot see clearly. Have you ever been flashed with a very bright torch? Yes, you cannot see clearly. Now, the water cannon, we are very familiar with the water cannon. The water cannons are the ones that you see police flashing or I can see splashing water to the civilians to disrupt the demonstration across the whatever is happening, the activity. Now, after midnight, police used force to disperse several hundred protesters who had been rallying on Kaplan Street. Kaplan Street is a street that is in Israel, okay, adjacent to the government and security compound there. Throughout the evening, demonstrators tried to block the Ayalon highway. That is an highway that is across the Israel. If you go to Israel, there's an highway called Ayalon, that runs through the city, and the police used massive force to hold them back. Police used 2 water cannons and fired dozens of stun grenades to drive back the protesters. Now, during the clashes, one mounted police officer was documented losing control of his horse, which fell onto one of the protesters, who was lightly injured. Another demonstrator was hurt when he was hit by a stun grenade. Those were the 2 things that happened that day. One of the person was hit by the stun grenade. You see, like the way you shoot the live tear gas. Yeah, you shoot the live tear gas. Those are the things that happened. It hit someone. Another thing is that one of the person was injured. One of the person was injured by a horse falling on him. So those are the things that happen in Israel. So everything closed down, major link to hospital, okay, schools, universities, and even clinics. So things were, even the airline had closed down. You can see all this news under the description. So thank you for listening to me. I be your host, Bigcast KE. See you when you see me again. Peace.